All right, we are live for episode 27 of the Money Shift podcast. And yeah, it's been a long week already, and it's only Wednesday. Been working our butts off over here, but nice to just sit down and do another podcast with my co host, Iron Maiden, and yeah, talk a little bit about the major milestone that we just hit with Driven Labo, and also, of course, get into the latest issue of the Daily Driven newsletter. But for now, kick it over to Iron Maiden. See how you're doing this morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning, Rex. Just here, excited to also dive in a little bit more, perhaps touch on some of the stuff that we, couldn't touch on yesterday's party live stream that we had, and it was amazing. It was a great stream, and the community was so engaged, and man, so much alpha was dropped that perhaps we can reiterate in some small ways. I guess some of the alpha that was dropped, but yeah, definitely ready to talk about what we are doing here and what's coming up next, and excited that again the RS1 shares our lives, so
Mhm.
everyone can own and be a co-owner of Paul Walker's Ferrari 360 Modena, and that's exciting.
Exactly. And anybody who's hanging out here with us watching this live stream, if you have any questions as we're going through the information about the RS1 presale, please drop it in the comments and we're more than happy to answer your questions. We did receive some questions over the course of the launch yesterday, which we can touch on as well. But if you've got your own, we'll be sure to get to those as well. But I think for now, let's go ahead and make sure that we are sharing out this space, or I should say this live stream rather. So Gary, if you want to do your thing, I'll do mine over here, and then we can officially get started. And of course, if you are watching this live, we would really appreciate it if you would share the link as well, so we can get some more viewers in.
Absolutely on it.
All right, cool. Let me go ahead and share this. I'll go ahead and share it on the Driven account right now.
Okay. All right. All on my end. And
All right. And do you maybe share it inside the on-chain media Telegram as well?
done.
Oh, awesome. On top of it.
Yeah. I'm laughing because as we're just starting, right, and the questions are coming in. And one of our community members, shout out to Samuel, I see you on the chat. He's asking, can a person mint the whole car?
Yeah, we will answer that question in a little bit once we get to that segment, but I appreciate you coming in hot with the questions. All right, shared on X. Oh, looks like it automatically shared, but whatever. We got double posts.
For the I see.
Yeah. Oops.
And yeah, Philip is going to be there. I mean, if you're going to eat Denver, the car is definitely going to be there. So you just make sure you look for that Ferrari. We will be there.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Oh yeah,
So we both
referring
have-
to almost at On-Chain Summit to ETH Denver. Yeah, I know it's a little bit of a drive for you, but if you can make it out, that would be awesome. It is free to attend, but I'm sure there will be other opportunities to experience the car in person. He'll be at Slush Motorsports. There you go. It will be there as well.
Okay.
All right, cool.
It'll be a slushy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and officially start this. So I'm going to do my second intro, and we'll get going. All right, welcome to episode 27 of the Money Shift podcast. And today we're going to be taking a closer look at the RS1 presale. So that is for the fractional shares of Paul Walker's personal Ferrari 360 Modena. We'll also be diving into the top news from the latest issue of the Daily Driven newsletter, issue number 109. Be a fun conversation today. We'll also be taking your questions from the live viewers about anything that you want to know about the RS1 presale. So if you have questions, please drop them in the comments and we will answer them here live. But let's go ahead and say hi to our co-host, Iron Maiden.
Hey, good morning or good afternoon and good evening to everyone. Great to be here. Yeah, we're going to be diving into the Daily Driven newsletter and also a little bit of some of the alpha that was dropped onto, I guess, yesterday's live stream. And, still on that high note of, celebrating that we have launched Paul Walker's Ferrari 360 Modena on chain. And yeah, ready to talk all about it and everything that's happening here at Driven Labo.
Yeah. It'll be a good show. So I guess let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the Daily Driven newsletter. Just kind of roll into some of the news from the past week across car culture. So let me pull that up. Here we are. And you can find this at drivenculture.xyz. That's drvnculture.xyz. We released issue number 109 last Friday. We've got 110 coming up this Friday. So if you're not already subscribed, please do. And this one is an open edition. So one of the things I haven't mentioned too much is that for every fourth issue that we put out, it's available for anybody to read. All of the other issues require being subscribed. So that way, you'll get 25% of the content if you just refuse to subscribe. But I suggest, dropping your email in there so you can get it in your inbox, because I put a lot of love and effort into these newsletters each week. And honestly, I think they're very informative and entertaining. So this week, we're going to be taking a look at a car that is currently available at our partner dealership, Revhard Motors. And real quick about this, we did get a question during our live stream with On-Chain Media yesterday about our relationship with On-Chain Motors. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to explain that. So Revhard Motors is a partner of Driven Labo. It's technically part of our ecosystem. And the owner of Revhard Motors, Josh, is a co-owner in Driven Labo. So there's a very, very tight relationship between what we're doing with the bringing car culture on chain through Driven Labo, and what Revhard Motors does in acquiring and selling collector cars, primarily JDM, but they honestly have the ability to source cars anywhere in the world. So if you or anyone is looking for a very specific car, they have all of the connections to not only find it, but to import it and basically deliver it right to your door. We've also been working on building closer ties and connections between the two brands. So very recently, they started accepting payment for cars in crypto, which is exciting. And we're exploring some other ways that we can make them far more intertwined. So we'll be talking about those features as they come out, but they are effectively our vehicle acquisition partner. and just a key component to making what we do here possible. If we didn't have somebody like Josh in our corner at Rev Hard Motors, we wouldn't be able to act on our vision of creating the world's largest community-owned car collection, which is what we're working towards and what we've officially begun through the tokenization of Paul Walker's Ferrari. But back to the issue here, this is a car that maybe at first glance you wouldn't think as a collector's item. Everybody thinks as Hondas, unless it's an NSX or something, that it's just a pretty standard car. But the Honda Integra Type R is really one of those legendary vehicles of the 90s that uh, proved that front wheel drive cars can be serious sports cars. And the DC2 Integra Type R is really the uh, top version, probably one of the best front wheel drive sports cars ever manufactured. It's light, it's rigid, nimble handling, and of course, it has the B18C 1.8 liter VTEC engine in it. So this thing is just super rev happy. It revs to 8,400 RPM. It's got decent power stock, but the thing about these cars is, given they're so light and nimble, a little power goes a long way. Of course, you can turbocharge one of these things and make it a total monster, but this one in particular is a uh, almost entirely original Type R. You can see here really the only uh, things on it that are not uh, standard. It's got upgraded bronze wheels, which I think look amazing on this car. I believe it has a few little power mods on it. Let's see here. I think it has. Here we are. Yeah, Recaro SR3 seats, Momo steering wheel, titanium shift knob. And I mean, other than that, the thing is almost entirely original. Uh, and that's really what you look for when you're looking for a collector car. It's going to be something that hasn't gone through 24 owners. It hasn't been, had a slew of cheap eBay parts thrown at it. It's something that is effectively a time capsule for that era of automotive history. And this is just a beautiful example of the prime Honda Integra Type R uh, lineage. And the pricing of these things is actually relatively reasonable compared to a lot of other collector cars, which are starting to creep up towards the six figure range. $25,000 for this thing is a good entry point into getting into JDM collector cars. One of the things I'll point out here is in our market snapshot section, we have some data pulled from hypercars.io. And one of the things you can see here is that the median price for these cars is $33,000 in the US. So the price point of $25,000 is actually a little bit below that $33,000 median range, but there's even some outliers here that you can see on this. In fact, if I click through, we can probably get a better picture of it. But we have some here that are, we've got one that's over $100,000, and we've got another one that's upwards of $200,000. These are likely going to be extremely low mileage and, certain like special editions or versions with rare combination of uh, of options. I can think of the word for a second. And then we even have some here that are, poking up above, actually quite a few that are above this $55,000 line. So, um, as far as collector cars in the JDM category goes, the Integra Type R is like uh, one that I think is going to do extremely well over the coming years. But while we're looking at it, we can take a little bit more of a peek of this thing. I think the only thing that would make this car more valuable is, of course, lower mileage. This thing has 205,000 kilometers on it. So I think I mentioned here so that equates to 127,000 miles, which for a 96 is quite low. But if this thing also had the red interior option, that's the one that collectors really look for. And so this isn't the cream of the crop, but it is just a step below. And I think a beautiful demonstration of a affordable JDM collector car that
Yeah.
is available.
Is it a four-cylinder real quick? I
Yeah.
didn't get to, did I
Yep.
miss that out? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a 1.8 liter uh, four cylinder. And so in the 90s, the B18C was the Honda engine that everybody wanted. Now it's the K series, which is sort of the most legendary Honda motor, but the B18C is still, has huge enthusiast support, and people just have undying love for the B18s, and of course anything with a Type R badge on it.
That's pretty powerful though for a four-cylinder giving you, 8,400. Isn't that like,
Oh, it's the 8,400 is the RPM, so it's a high
right?
revving engine. It
Okay.
produces 200 horsepower stock, but for naturally aspirated, meaning no turbo or supercharger, out of a 1.8 liter four cylinder, that's a lot of power for this little thing. And of course, everybody loves their VTEC. VTEC is variable valve timing. So at a certain RPM, VTEC kicks in, as the meme goes, and it adjusts the camshafts to uh, to continue the power band higher. Because if it didn't have VTEC, the power band would cap at a certain RPM, and you wouldn't get that high end power. But the cool part about the Honda VTEC motors is they've got great power across the entire RPM range. So yeah, just makes some really fun cars to drive.
Nice. Yeah, every time we look at this, we look into hypercars, I always think of, I believe it was at we were just hanging out, and I believe Captain from Base Racer,
Oh,
Captain or
AYB.
AYB,
Yeah.
he always brings up the fact that
Hmm.
who knew that these cars were going to go in value, right? Back then we had them, we took it for granted, and we didn't know that these were going to be our generation's collectors cars, right? And we just it just went over our heads, and we never thought that these cars can go up to, the value
Mhm.
that we see, especially here in the newsletter, right? They could go from, back in the day, 4 or 5 grand. Now it's like, easily can go up to like 40K.
Oh yeah.
There was one that, and the newsletter covers it over 200K. That's, geez.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Captain was saying he had an Acura Integra, so the US spec version. I think the Honda looks a lot better. I like the brick headlight style a lot more,
Hmm.
whereas the Acura Integra had the beady little circle headlights on it, which didn't look
Okay, yeah.
bad, but this just looks better in my opinion. But
Okay.
yeah, you're totally right. So many people didn't really understand what the long-term value of these types of cars are going to be. And a good case in point is I bring it back to my S14 240SX often, but this is my third one that I've owned. I built my first one. It wasn't as nicely built as my current S14, but
Hmm.
I sold that car in, let's see, 2003. Is that right? No, hold on. 2005. I sold it in 2005 for $10,000. Now my car is probably the values somewhere between 40 and $50,000. So
Right.
just
So
goes to
have
show.
you gone back and checked what it would be the appreciation of the vehicle you sold back then at 10K at the moment?
Yeah, I mean it would be 4 or 5x, and that's 20 years later. But hey, I think it'll only continue to climb. I think that graph will only continue to get steeper because uh, back then you could find a lot more of them on the road,
Mhm.
and nowadays there's you know fewer of them still in existence, and the vast majority, particularly of any S chassis Nissan, have been turned into race cars or drift cars. They've been wrecked. They've gone through a ton uh, of owners who wrenched on the car and didn't know what they were doing, or poorly maintained it. So to find one that's still in practically new condition uh, nowadays, is you're going to pay a serious premium for it, and that'll continue to go up uh, as time progresses. So definitely don't sleep on the JDM collector cars, is what we're
Yeah,
saying here.
correct. Yeah.
Yep. And we're looking forward to tying it back to what we're doing within the Driven Vehicles app, is looking forward to introducing our first JDM collector car, which is going to be under the RS2 token designation, uh, hopefully within as soon as the next couple of months. And so yeah, we're first working on getting through the pre-sale of the RS1 token for Paul Walker's Ferrari 360 Modena, but after that, we're definitely going with a JDM classic.
And we're looking forward to it. I think there was a little bit of alpha drop yesterday. Now, I don't want to dive too much into it to that one, but yeah, definitely that's going to
Mhm.
be, let's just say, the lore of the Ferrari continues, of the owner of that Ferrari. That lore
Mhm.
continues, and it segues into the next car. But yeah, let's continue with I guess
Mhm.
with the newsletter at the moment.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about this uh, beautiful Type R Integra. Um, and then, of course, we always feature it in the Buster's Space Meditations column here, where I get a little philosophical and like to tie in some, I guess, life lessons with some automotive metaphors. But I'll let you read that one on your own time. So let's get into some of the other headlines. So this one was really interesting in the motorsports category in the hot headlines. Uh, we saw Porsche take its third straight win in a row at the Rolex 24. I believe this was at Daytona. Hold on. Let's click into it and find out. Yes, I was right. Daytona. Um, and yeah, I mean, Porsche has always been a uh, leader in motorsports. It's just in their DNA. But to be able to take three wins in a row is really a feat, considering how stiff the competition is in these professional racing circuits. Um, and an interesting thing to note is on the, I guess, real world, or not, outside of motorsport space. I believe just a couple of weeks ago, the newest version of the Porsche 911 GT3, if I'm not mistaken, which is a manual, fully like, you know, standard three pedal manual, um, took the top time for, uh, or I should say, set the record on the Nürburgring for street legal sports cars.
Mhm.
And over last year, there was a big shootout between the Corvette, was it the ZR1X, if I remember correctly, and the uh, Mustang GTB. I'm sure I might be wrong about one of those, but basically between the top level Corvette and the top level Mustang, and then Porsche is like, "Hey, you're in my country. Let me show you how it's done." And they did it with a um, car with a standard three pedal uh, manual setup, which these days is kind of unheard of because almost every high end supercar is moving towards the dual sequential transmission. So the ones with the paddle shifters, which you can get way quicker, more precise shifts on. So to see that be done in what I believe was a 6-speed manual is pretty impressive. So yeah, Porsche definitely is always top of their game, and this just goes to show taking 3 Rolex 24s at at Daytona in a row is quite impressive.
Well, did you just said the 911, right?
Mhm.
That is correct. Yeah.
Oh, were you
Yeah.
looking it up while I was
Yeah,
talking?
I was looking it up. Yeah, it looks really clean.
Yeah, GTD. Thank you. I was like, there. What was the acronym again? What I say? GTB. GTB. I was off by a couple of couple of letters in the alphabet. Thanks for the thanks for fact checking me, Phil. All right, moving on to the gaming section. We've been talking quite a bit about the new Forza Horizon 6 in the newsletter lately, and it's because it's been one of the most anticipated new racing games to come out. And the thing that I love about the new Forza Horizon 6 is that it takes place in Japan and really ties into that JDM culture of drifting, and you get the iconic roadways like the Hakone and uh, Daikoku. So Daikoku is a certain area in Tokyo where uh, has the most iconic car meets, and you have the overpasses all around you, kind of encircling this parking lot. Well, now all of this is going to be taking place, or the new Forza Horizon 6 is going to be taking place in Japan, honoring that JDM culture. And the cool feature that we're talking about here is that they're going to be incorporating now garages and estates. And I think that this is something that Web3 people like us can really get behind. Now, it's not using any sort of Web3 features. I think it would be smart of them to eventually go that direction. But the idea is that you can build your own garage and your own property in Forza, um, and kind of set it up however you want to display your cars, and also set up your estate. Where I don't know if how many people here follow Adam LZ on YouTube, but he has his I forget the name of what he calls it, but his facility that's got a number of garages, and then it's basically like a drift track all around. So you could just go out and drift from one garage to the next on his property, and you could set up the very same thing here to create your home base for your car collection in Forza. But the really cool part is the social component. So they're incorporating the ability to have people come and visit your estate, and even host like car shows directly inside of Forza at your property or at your estate. So I think this is a really cool feature that they're incorporating into it, and I honestly can't wait to get my hands on it and try it out for myself. Let's go ahead and pop. So, can you hear
Yeah, I
that?
think you were referring to the LZ compound. I think that's what it's
LZ
called.
compound. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Um,
Real quick, as we were looking at that post of the garage, I was just thinking, I just couldn't help it but think about Coda. Exactly. This is something that I can point out, right? That I guess we can dive a little bit into it. That we're going to be moving headquarters to Austin, Texas, over
Mhm.
in at Coda, and by looking at this post, I'm thinking, well, the garage, it looks really clean, and I'm thinking, what would be the setup that we're going to be having
Mhm.
at the new headquarters?
Yeah, so, where we're looking at purchasing, is this, facility called Turn 11, and they're known as car condos. So, there's a number of units, and the idea is that they're a garage and showroom with, like, some living space or, like, event hosting space built into it. Depends on which size we end up going with, but ultimately, what you have is, just a beautifully furnished garage where you can fit anywhere from, let's say, 6 to 30 cars in the downstairs area. If we put lifts in, then we could even squeeze more cars in there. And then there's a mezzanine section where it has living space, like a Murphy bed, because I'll probably be spending late nights there working. So it's perfect. I can just crash out after a long day. Has a full bathroom, shower, kitchen, and kind of a living room space. So that will allow us to host events. Uh, we'll be able to throw parties, and even like when F1 comes through, or WEC, or one of numerous events that they hold at Coda, we'll have special events for our community come down and get the full VIP experience directly at the track. Uh, and um, Also, anybody who's a community member who's visiting Austin or even lives in Austin can come and use it as a shared workspace. As a member, they'll get access to it. Whenever one of the team is there, you can come in and just hang out for the day and get some work done. Surrounded by our collection of beautiful community-owned cars. So, that's kind of it in a nutshell. The one difference between, like, the LZ compound and what we're gonna have at Turn 11 is we won't be able to drift through the streets directly into our garage. It's gonna be, a little bit more, civilized, when we're out and about, but, the track's right there. They're building a second track as well, so there will be a lot of opportunities for track days. And I will say, if for whatever reason the property at Turn 11 falls through and we aren't able to secure it, we are still likely looking at buying property right there, at or near the track. And if we do that, then we actually have a lot more liberties to turn it into whatever we want, because we could put up our own, um, like a steel garage, furnish it however we want, and also set up the surrounding area where we could have a skid pad and areas where we can go and just you know do a little drifting, do some donuts right there on our own property. So if Turn 11 doesn't work out, which we're definitely pushing for, then we still have lots of options to do some fun things right there at the track.
Yeah, and as you can tell, I actually put a challenge that says we can't drift. Maybe we could have challenges like parallel parking challenge.
There you go.
Let's do that.
Yep. No parking assist allowed. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, but real quick, I'm gonna play this and let me know if you can hear the audio.
Okay.
Yeah? Can you hear the audio?
Uh, no, not
No?
really.
Alright, I gotta check the box. Window. There we go. Forgot to check share audio. Alright, now let me know if you hear it. Good? No?
No.
I did the wrong one, because I didn't close my first screen share, and I didn't know which one it was, so let me try it again. Audio on, share. Okay, now it should work. Good.
I'm not hearing anything on my end, but let me see. The chat could be me. So let
Okay.
me ask chat.
Alright. I'll just let it play through. Oh, you know what? You wanna know why? Because 'Cause I'm not sharing
Why?
it. because I didn't have the screen pulled up. Technical difficulties. It's been a long week. Okay, let's try this again.
In Forza Horizon 6, you'll have new ways to shape that world with features that let you make a life for yourself in Japan. Our new customizable garages are the perfect place to do that. You'll find one of these at every player house, big enough for multiple cars, where you can freely decorate the entire space. And when you're done, you can invite your friends over to see what you've built. But the ultimate place to express your creativity is the estate. This mountain valley starts off completely empty and overgrown, but once you unlock it, you can build and decorate directly in the open world here. And anything you construct is permanent and visitable by your friends.
Yeah, that looks awesome. My worry, though, is if I end up getting Forza Horizon 6 and playing it, that you're not going to see me for like 2 weeks. I'm just going to be in there building my estate out.
There's another challenge there in Coda.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody who joins us at those events or anybody who just wants to come down and hang out with us, hey, they can challenge you.
Yeah, that's true. And one cool idea is maybe we recreate the driven headquarters in Forza, so that way you can visit it in game or in real life. Might be something to look at. But yeah, we will have sim racing rigs set up at our headquarters as well. So anybody who comes to visit can challenge me to some sim racing in the flesh. So,
and real quick, Rex, at the moment, let's see. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback on my end, but it could be that you're sharing the, I guess, different channel for the audio.
Yeah, sometimes I've found when I share audio from my browser, it messes up the audio. Can you hear me okay right now? Is it better?
Perfect. Your voice is great. My voice sounds good actually now too. So I guess echo is gone.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I will reshare again, this time without the audio so we don't mess it up. I think that's the only video we were going to be watching. All right. And we're back. All right. And of course, the big automotive Web3 news this week was that we're bringing Paul Walker's Ferrari on chain. We'll be diving more into this in just a little bit, but we made the first announcement here of when it was going live. So yeah, big milestone, as I'm sure everybody here who's watching live at least knows. And so we'll skip past that for now because we're going to come back to it. But this one's a really interesting story, which I think it ties nicely with the value of Ferraris being something that is really on another level. So here we have a Ferrari Enzo. So this is what, a 2004, so about 5 years newer than our Ferrari. Ferrari Enzo with only 286 kilometers on it. So this thing has been driven about the least amount you can get away with on any car without letting it basically disintegrate internally. Because of course cars need to be driven to be maintained. And yeah, to find something like this with 286 kilometers, that's not 286,000 kilometers, that's just 286 kilometers. Went to auction in Paris, and the final price that it went for was $9,896,000 USD. Almost said USDC, USD, or 8.1 million euros. And yeah, I like, this just goes to show like the buyer market for collectible Ferraris is huge. People have the money for these sorts of things. And, it may be, we see, let's say 5-10 years down the road, maybe even sooner, that the value of our Ferrari, co-owned by the community, continues to skyrocket. And there may be an opportunity at some point in the future where we could choose, I should say, as a community, to take it to auction and turn it into an exit event for all of the holders to earn a nice little ROI over and above the trading value of the car. So that is something that is always on the table. Any of the cars that we add to our collection doesn't necessarily need to be permanent. There are going to be ways that we can unlock the collector value of it, and that will go back to the community of co-owners in the form of exit dividends.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually, yeah, I see. And quick fun fact, just to, I guess a little bit more of a fun fact for the Enzo. Is that named after actual the Ferrari himself?
Yeah,
Enzo Ferrari.
named after the founder of Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari, as it were. And the interesting thing about this car is when it came out, it was just about the closest thing you could get to a street legal F1 car. There are, as you can imagine, a lot of differences between an F1 car and this, but even just looking at the shape of the nose and the front splitter here, it's got a lot of those design cues from an F1 car. And I believe a lot of the engineering behind it as well was derived from their F1 program. So to this day, the Enzo is one of my all-time favorite Ferraris. I like my cars with a little bit of boxy edge to them. I don't like
Mhm.
all like I think the 360 is beautiful and it's special in its own right, which we can talk about in a little bit. But yeah, give me something with some hard lines and angles. That's what I like.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, this car is really, this is one of these hypercar. I think it's a hypercar, right?
Yeah.
But what I really enjoy about these cars is, as you mentioned, that boxy on the back, right?
Mhm.
Kind of reminds me more of like that. I guess somewhat it gives it an air of a F1 type of car, but for the
Mhm.
streets.
Yep. Yeah, I can see some pictures of it here.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm. Yeah,
Very nice.
man, this would be an amazing car to get into the collection one day. Yeah, yeah. One of my all-time favorite Ferraris, and for good reason.
And that's another fun fact too that you mentioned. You need to run these cars because if you don't run these cars, they just rust up. Exactly what happens to the engines of these calibers if you're not moving these vehicles as often as you should?
Mhm. Well, one of the first things that you'll see if you're not driving a car is the fuel almost becomes like a lacquer. So it ends up think about it like your arteries, and if you're eating, crappy food, it's gonna coat your arteries and plaques and stuff. Same thing happens with the fuel systems of cars. So you need to be running fresh fuel through them relatively regularly. And so that's one of the first things that you'll find. And the other thing too is cars, they like the components, they need to like heat cycle. So like a lot of the plastic or softer components, if they are never heat cycled, they're not, they're just sitting there cold all the time, they'll actually like disintegrate faster. So um, you know, driving is a form of maintenance. And there's even a funny thing, which I don't know if it necessarily applies to this, but with uh, cars in general, there's a term called an Italian tune-up. And basically, what it means is you want to redline your car every once in a while. You want to drive it, you want to rev it all the way out and push as much air and fuel through it as possible. That's mostly with cars that are maybe commuters or things that are driven more often because they get buildup of carbon on the valves, and like they just sort of get dirty if they're not really put through their paces. So everybody should on occasion and in safe conditions be redlining your cars every once in a while, so that way, or redlining your engine rather, so you can really push a lot of those contaminants through the engine.
That sounds like you shouldn't baby your car.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
like-
No, actually, there's a lot. There's an argument to be made that driving your car like a grandma is not good for it.
Oh,
Yeah, you want to be able to rev it through the whole power range. You know, you want to wake up that engine to clean it out. Otherwise, it just gets caked. And especially now with what's called direct injection engines, this is something that's a particular problem that even doing like the Italian tune-up won't fix. So the way most engines work is they have their fuel injectors above the valves. So as the valves are opening and closing, they're squirting the fuel past the valve, and this is what helps to atomize the fuel into the combustion chamber. And direct injection cars, they move the fuel injector to the combustion chamber. So what happens is you get the combustion that pushes a little bit of that burnt uh, fuel back above the valve, and then they
mhm.
end up getting caked on the backside with carbon buildup. The Having the fuel injector above the valve cleans off the carbon buildup on the back of the valve. Um, so, uh, like if you are going to buy a car that's direct injection, you're likely at like, let's say 60,000 miles going to need to go in for a pretty expensive treatment where they literally have to walnut blast. They have like little broken up pieces of walnut shell, which is
Mhm.
extremely hard, and they walnut blast the backside of the valves to clean them out. Otherwise, it just like kills the airflow through your engine. So, little side tangent. I like to go on my little technical tangents, but
Well, this is cool, right? We touch a little bit on everything. We touch on what we're driving, I mean, building, and also what we're driving also on our personal cars. We'll talk about like, what we're into in regards to what kind of models, years, JDMs, hypercars,
Mhm.
supercars, and, sometimes it's okay to geek out and talk about, some, I guess, in depth of why this is important, of why you should always move your car, right? You shouldn't just leave it there.
Mhm.
Especially a car like this one. This is such a beast that you need to move it, right? And
Yeah.
I think Fix It Phil, he dropped a comment which he's saying carbon builds up the intake valves on
Mhm.
direct engine inject.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So, got corroboration from our other local automotive expert here to
Yeah,
to
yeah.
back me
And
up.
also, Callie, you shouldn't drive your Tesla like a Ferrari.
Hey, I don't see any reason why not. I mean, as long as you're not driving like an asshole,
I,
those Teslas, they
I'm
love to go
thinking
fast.
because he's in California, we know the traffic. I don't know exactly where you live, but I'm
Mhm.
thinking the 405. I'm pretty sure you don't have any space to be driving.
Yeah. I will say, and I've told this story before, but the fastest I've ever driven, and this is beyond the statute of limitations because it was highly illegal, and so I can talk about it now. Fastest I've ever personally driven was on the 405 freeway at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I got my first S14 up to like 170 miles an hour. And when I was maxed out, my inner fender well on my driver's side ripped out, and I ran it over and basically scared my socks off. So don't recommend driving that fast unless it's on a closed course and you are a professional.
That's insane. To me, the most I'm always on the 50s. I don't even know where the 57 is at. Where's
Mhm.
that at? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to me, out of the whole story, it's not the fact that you were going that fast. The fact that you were able to do it on the 405, to me, that's just
Yeah.
at what time and place was it empty that you were able to
Yeah.
drive
Well,
that fast?
and that was the fastest I've ever personally driven. But the fastest I've ever gone was also on the 405. I think it was, yeah, it was the
Hmm.
405. Um, and I had a friend who had he owned a performance shop in Westminster, and he built an 1100 horsepower Supra. So he took me out for a ride in that thing, and we hit 200 miles an hour on the 405 at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just before rush hour. And honestly, like I considered not being friends with him anymore after that. I was pissed. I was not cool with it. But he was laughing because he saw I was freaking out and tell him to slow down. Glad I survived that one. I'm glad everybody else on the freeway survived that one. So, memories.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
But,
I mean, but returning to these beauties, right? I mean,
yeah.
yeah, they do need to be moved, and
Mhm.
absolutely, I just still can't believe. I mean, 178 miles, that's practically new. And I mean,
Oh,
look
yeah.
at that. How much do you think it was at that time when you
When
know,
this came out,
yeah, when the Enzo came out? Yeah.
I wanna say they were over a $500,000, somewhere around there. I don't
Half a
recall.
million.
Yeah,
Okay.
if not more, probably.
And you see, this is one of those things where you can see an appreciate asset where you invest. Yeah, it sounds big, right? 500, but look at the moment right here. We're looking at what, 9 million,
Yeah,
9.8.
almost 10,000,000, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So, I mean, it's insane that these investment vehicles, they're not called investment vehicles for no reason, right? Look at the much appreciation. It goes up.
Mhm,
Just like as we're going to be talking about the Ferrari, it has a more to offer. It's not just any Ferrari. It
mhm.
belongs to someone who actually, you know, brought car culture mainstream, and an icon in all car culture.
Mhm. Yep, it definitely has enjoyed the Paul Walker Premium, I will say that. And in fact, we can jump into that here in just a moment. I also do have to give you a
Mhm.
shout out because for what, 38 weeks in a row, you've been producing these uh, celebrity car collection threads. And so, yeah, I definitely need to give you some props on these. You've been really consistent on them, and they're so great. Just to kind of get a picture, get a glimpse of the cars that the celebrities that we've grown up watching or listening to, that they own. So we always like to feature one in each newsletter. Of course, Jackie Chan is in volume 38. So go check it out, throw in some comments. Let us know which of his cars you think are the coolest. So,
Yeah, and you'll be very surprised of how many of these celebrities are actually into, not just hypercars, supercars, but also JDM classics, and
mhm,
they add them into their collection because they see not only you know value, but they also see culture and they want to own part of that. So it's really cool that you get to see some of these celebrities owning, like right here, the Jackie Chan collection.
yeah,
You'll see, I believe it's what's that one right
yeah.
there?
He has a Lancer Evo 8
The Lantern. Yeah,
and then
exactly.
a Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. So this was like Mitsubishi's answer to the Supra and the Skyline.
Mhm.
I actually used to own one of these. Great cars.
You used to own a Mitsubishi?
Yeah, I actually owned the Dodge Stealth version of it. So,
Uh-huh.
at the time, Dodge and Mitsubishi were created DSM or Diamond Star Motors and shared a lot of the same platforms. So there was the Dodge Stealth, which was basically a rebadged 3000 GT. So, yeah, like a lot of might imagine that most celebrities are just going to be buying, Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but you'll almost always catch a JDM car in most of their collections. The very first one that we did, number one, volume one of the celebrity car collection, was actually John Cena, and he actually his daily driver is an Integra Type R. Is it Integra or is it no, it's a Civic
Right.
Type R. It's a Civic Type R. And so he loves his thing is the Civics, the Integras, and he just actually bought the brand new Prelude, which honestly I'm not too impressed by, but for a Honda fan, I can totally understand why you'd be excited about the new Prelude. But again, tangent. Let's see, we're 54 minutes in. We might as well jump in directly into our conversation about the uh, RS1 presale. So, man, see, this is what happens. You get me talking about cars, and I'm just gonna be geeking out on on the technicals and all that stuff.
Yeah, but this is fun, man. This is fun because once again, we cover all kinds of aspects. We're not just here to talk about cars and talk about value. We talk about everything, everything that we're into, everything that we're passionate about. Could be, from the simplest thing, the simplest talk about like tires, rims, engines, and all that, right? Valves. And the way you explain it right now, the analogy of why a car is needed to be moved, that's very important. A lot of people are not really aware. So in a way, I guess we bring a little bit, you know, extra compared to like, just reading a magazine or something like that. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. So, but yeah, so going to the Ferrari at the moment here. Let's talk about the shares and
Yeah.
the
So,
history in the making.
mhm. So let's see. One second. I actually need to respond to somebody. So apologies. Bear me with me for a second.
Yeah, no problem. And at the same time, shout out to Callie for on the chat. I'm not sure if that was a pun, but hey man, that was a good one.
All right. Sorry about that. Had a important reply I need to get out. We'll make sure we edit out that part. All right. So back to the Ferrari presale. So we did our uh, launch party with on-chain media and Rachel yesterday. It went extremely well. We had probably over 1,000 people tune in live. So thanks to everybody who joined for that. This is a big milestone for us because we've been working towards this moment for about 2 years now. And it's, we wanted to make sure that we got all of the pieces in place to do this right. And the moment has finally come. So uh, the fractional shares of Paul Walker's 1999 Ferrari 360 Modena are officially live in stage one of the presale. So the way it works is there are 3 stages, and the stage one participants will get a 20% discount on the token price over what it's going to launch it with at IDO. Stage 2, they get a 10% discount, and at stage 3, it will be at IDO price. In order to qualify for each stage, stage 1, you need a titanium Founders Club key, which you can find on the Buster Club page here. You can mint for $200, and you'll get an instant Buster airdrop, as well as lifetime VIP, like stage 1 presale access to every car we release on the platform. The other option is you can purchase Buster tokens directly in-app, and you need to hold 750,000 Buster to qualify for stage 1. That's only about $60 at today's price to get into stage 1. But let's go back to the Ferrari. The other thing is, so you'll see it checks for criteria. You'll see there that I don't have a titanium key, but I do have enough Buster. I've got 1.4 million Buster in this wallet. So with that and the KYC verification, I am qualified. Now, KYC is an important aspect to remain compliant with being able to do this, make this sort of offering to our community. And mainly the reason is so we can prevent people from, what is the term, sanctioned countries from participating. We're not legally allowed to sell to people in Russia or North Korea, these sorts of things. And the information that we collect, it takes literally 3 minutes to go through the process. You take a picture front and back of your ID, you do a quick selfie video, and it will approve you on the spot. I will say, when you go through that process, if you when you get to the selfie part of the phase, make sure that you are in a well-lit area. You do the image directly front on. Don't like hold the phone down below your chin, and don't wear a hat. That way, the system can match you to your photo on your ID. If you do that, you'll be approved instantly and just get straight into the pre-sale. If it says that your KYC is under review, we have to go in and manually check it to make sure that it meets the requirements. So you may have to wait a little bit. But if that does happen, make sure you go to the Discord and just ping me or Iron Maiden and let us know that it's pending, and we'll make sure to get in there and check it right away. I am checking multiple times a day. So, worst case scenarios, you might have to wait a couple hours until that is approved.
Yeah. And this question was brought up, and it's a really good question by another community member, Stronghold. He's asking who has access to view the KYC.
So KYC is the only access is me and Justin, the developer. And the reason that we need to have that access is to, of course, approve the applications. Beyond that, it is all encrypted, and so your personal information is safe. We use Did It if you want to just do some research and confirm, and just to kind of remove any worry you might have. Feel free to research didit.me, and you'll get all the information about how they handle your data.
Cool.
Yep.
And Phil was asking to have some ETH. So if you're going to buy the R as well, Phil, we're happy to tell you and mention to everyone that we are going to be covering all the gas fees from now on, right?
Yep, we just set that up last night.
That.
Yep, so posted it here. So apologies to you. I know you were quick on the draw to get in there, and I appreciate that. But we went ahead and set it up so our pre-sale contracts are now paid for. We cover the costs of those, so you don't even need to hold any ETH in your wallet to now get into the pre-sale or do any transactions in the app. So,
Absolutely, Nick saying it's bullish. Yep. It is. Appreciate it, Nick. Everyone who's here in the chat, appreciate you guys for asking questions, dropping comments. This is exactly why we're doing it, for everyone here, to not only engage, learn from each other, but also have a little bit of fun and also ask questions where, things like these, like yesterday's stream, it was so much fun, but it was long. So a lot of information probably, we retain, and we kind of we kind of forget. So that's what we're reiterating once again, some of these points. But with that, I guess I'll give back the mic to you, Rex.
Yeah. So we had a couple other questions after we launched the pre-sale. One of those is, you'll see once you've made a purchase, I just did a test purchase of 5,000 shares or 5,000 tokens. I'll talk about the distinction between shares and tokens in a minute. You'll see that it says here 5,000 RS1 unclaimed, and then you have 0 in wallet. So the way that it works is when the stage ends, you'll be able to claim the tokens that you've purchased. So right now, all of those are being recorded and retained in the smart contract. And then in 6 days, 4 hours, or when this sells out, this stage will end, and then you'll see a claim button pop up. You just click that, and the tokens will be delivered to your wallet. And then I also mentioned about the shares. So, oh, looks like there was a recent update here on how this displayed. But anyway, um, the distinction between tokens and shares. One full share is 1 million tokens. And so that's the threshold that we want people to work towards um, accumulating for them to get the maximum benefits of being a co-owner of the car. So the main one is going to be holders that reach one full share are the ones that will be able to submit proposals to the RS1 DAO, the DAO LLC that owns and manages the car, which all RS1 holders are members of. And so you'll take a little bit more of a responsibility in the management of the cars. Anybody who holds any amount of shares can work with a full shareholder to get their proposal into the DAO, but only those that hold a full share will be able to submit those proposals, and anybody with any amount of RS1 will be able to vote on proposals. The other thing too is that full shareholders will get additional perks. They'll get a bonus or a boost on the revenue share from what the car generates. And there will also be some other perks and benefits, which we'll share at a later date as we get closer to rolling those out. So my suggestion is, if you're really passionate about this, this is one of those things you'll want to like dollar cost average into reaching that one full share threshold over time.
It sounds like, it's sounding parallel to like owning a Bitcoin, right? You just want to TCA, owning
like
a whole
like a
Bitcoin.
full coiner.
You want to own a whole share. But in the meantime, there are a couple of questions here on the chat that are really, really, really good. And one of them is being asked, which is, how does the value of a fraction that they own goes up in value? And are they able to sell at any point?
Yeah. So the way that works is during the pre-sale phase, the tokens that you purchase are locked into your wallet. So this is on the smart contract level that trading and transferring is paused. And the idea being that we don't want to pre-sell these tokens and deliver them to you, and then somebody goes out and creates a liquidity pool and begins trading before we can set up the liquidity pool to establish the market price. So once the pre-sale is complete and all of the buyers have their shares and tokens, then we will create the LP so we can establish that starting IDO price, which will be the same price of what you purchase in stage 3 right here. So the starting price is going to be 0.0039 cents per token when it goes live on DEX. So you can see here, if you're getting in at stage 1, you're getting it at a 20% discount, 0.003125, or stage 2, 0.003156 is 10% discount. And then once it's live on DEX, the market will take over. There will be price discovery. And there's also going to be some strategies that we are going to be offering to the community to vote on, the community of RS1 holders, that will determine, which approach we take. Do we want to make it so the shares are, or I should say that the token has no cap and can be as volatile as they want? Do we want to establish more of a trading range so we know that this is more tied to the appraised value of the car, but allowing still people to trade the token and be able to do some level of speculation as people do on all tokens? So that's something that's going to be left up to the community. Our basically our IDO strategy and our first methods of monetizing the car are going to be up to the community of co-owners, and we will determine those before the token is publicly tradable. And as soon as the LP is established, the tokens that you own will now be tradable and transferable, and you can do whatever you please with them.
Awesome. Hopefully that answers. But if there's more questions, go ahead, guys. Drop the questions here on the chat. At the same time, the other question was, what is the a full share worth at this current market price?
Let's see. So a full share, I can actually go to my quick select here. So we've got different options of how much you can just put in to buy. We've got 1 million here. So 1 million tokens equaling one full share is currently $3,100.
31.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so $3,100. And what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back to me. Yeah, what I'll do right now is I'll go ahead and do a quick demo buy of just 5,000, which is $15.63 worth, to show how easy it is to do. Probably the most friction you'll run into in this entire process is doing the KYC certification. But when you do it once, it's done permanently. And so every other car that we release on the platform, you're already pre-verified for. You just need to make sure you meet the requirements, and then you can jump in and participate in the pre-sale. And then the other thing is we've bundled the approval and purchase into one click. So when I go ahead and buy my $15 worth of tokens, because it's going through my Coinbase smart wallet, you're not going to be able to see me.
Yeah.
Confirm
and
it.
let's highlight once again, you mentioned that gas is covered for all transactions within the app, correct?
Yes.
So reminder, guys, so if you get busted or if you're trying to get a hold of the token, or if you want to get your hands the steel key, carbon key, and the titanium key, you guys can go ahead and use the Driven Vehicles app, which link is in the description and also in the chat. Although sometimes the chat kind of deletes or removes any links, but it's there for at least a couple of seconds. So you guys are also welcome to check the bio for link is in the description.
Yeah. So while you were talking, I just completed a buy of another 5,000 tokens. And what you'll see here is that this gauge will actually go up. And once you reach 1 million tokens, you'll reach the end of the gauge, and you'll get a. We're actually working on building out a badge for your profile. So when you reach that one full share, you actually get a badge to show that you are a full shareholder as well. So yeah, it's that easy. I did it through my Coinbase smart wallet. So what I had to do was just take a picture of the QR code that pops up on screen, use my fingerprint, and it was done. If you were to do it, let's say through MetaMask, when you click approve and purchase, then you're going to have two your MetaMask pop up, and you're going to have two confirmations to complete the purchase. Just 1, 2, and you're done. So yeah, so that's really all it takes to get into the pre-sale. Of course, Titanium Founders Club key gets you into all 3 stages. Carbon key gets you into stage 2 and 3. Steel key gets you into stage 3. Or you can hold the minimum amount of buster required to qualify. Then come in here, verify your identity, and then do your purchase.
Yeah. And real quick, there's also within the app, you have the feature where you can actually see the specs of the car and also all the future cars that we're going to be tokenizing in the platform. So you guys can also welcome to, check. And there's also tons of other graphics and photos of the car, which yesterday in live stream, we actually showed it live. And, it would have been a lot, I guess, more, how do I say, fun to have that stream a little bit longer where we can actually show the car for a very long time. But we had so many guests that came in, and we had to keep going and engage with them. We
Well,
just
and
didn't want to.
you don't need to sugarcoat it. Josh's computer died while he was in the middle of showing off the Ferrari at Rev Hard Motors. So yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to show it off as much as we would have liked, but we'll have plenty of other opportunities to do so. But one of the things that I will point out here is we do have the proof that Paul Walker was the original owner of the car. So we've got the what is this? The registration, we've got the insurance, and we've got the title here, all showing Paul William Walker the fourth as the registered owner. So we have got the receipts to back it up that this was truly Paul Walker's personal car.
Yeah, yeah. And hinting at that, also continue with that lore. Did you guys know what kind of car he drove? That's iconic, where he drifts and the camera zooms in when he's drifting.
I mean, I can't answer that because of course I know. So let's see if in the comments if anybody knows that.
If you go to
scene.
the app, you might find.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll do a little. How should I say? A little spoiler
I don't
here.
know if it's alpha. Is that alpha, Rex? Could be, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I will say that the next car that we are looking at bringing in is the car that Gary was mentioning. That's the Nissan R34 Skyline GTR. We're likely going to be getting probably like a V-Spec 2, or if we're really lucky, an M-Spec or M-Spec NER, which are the most desirable versions of this car. And may or may not be in Bayside Blue, as you see here, but we have this here as a demo. That's what's coming soon to the platform.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's going to be yeah. But at the moment, we're just once again, we're celebrating the fact that it is not only a piece of car culture that's on chain, but also it's something that we can all be part of by owning and and also minting a key by getting on the whitelist in order, and also I guess getting some of those shares. And as you mentioned, DCA to it. Hey, you'll be you're welcome. Even if you buy a Porsche, hey, you're an owner of a Ferrari.
Yeah, there'll still be lots of benefits for people that don't meet that 1 million token threshold. Believe me, it's definitely worth the experience of being part of that co-owner community is going to be very, very much worth it.
So it's okay. You guys can go ahead and quote retweet saying, "I own a Ferrari." And so, yeah.
Exactly.
Which is true.
What he said. Nice. So yeah, that's what we wanted to cover for the RS1 pre-sale. Just do a little walkthrough on how to purchase some RS1 tokens in stage 1. And of course, the various stages are all going to be basically the same with just different requirements to qualify. And in the meantime, if you have any further questions, head on over to the Labo Discord server, and we will be more than happy to answer them over there. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's podcast. Gary, I don't think we actually prepped our member of the week. So let's talk about this after we're done here, and we'll select our member of the week and announce them in the Labo here shortly.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things for member of the week, we choose someone who is highly engaged, helping others, introduces themselves as well. And on top of that, it has joined Discord. That's definitely one of the prerequisites in order to be a member of the week, which, some of you have been member of the week, and you guys got incentives for, being part of the community. So make sure you join Discord. Links are all in the description. I've been dropping the links in the chat. Now, X is a little funky where it removes it, but you guys are welcome to go to our bio on X and the Driven Labo. You will see the link to the Discord, and make sure you join in and start engaging with the community. You guys are welcome, and we will be announcing our member of the week probably by the end of the day. We will have and announce that person, and make sure you join in so that way you guys can start earning that spot for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next one.
Yeah, I will say the winner of the Founders Club keys are I'm sorry, oh my god, winner of the member of the week will earn a driven steel key. So definitely a good little perk for those that show up every day and add value to the community.
Well said. Well said. Well, I guess with that, I just want to say thanks to everyone who was here. Shout out to all the people who showed up, retweeted the space, gave it a like, asked questions. They were engaged here in the chat.
Mhm.
This is all for you guys. We just want to say thank you. Massive shout out to also, our I guess partners, Anche Media for yesterday's live stream. What a great live stream! I mean, still it's still a buzz. I just want to say shout out to everyone, and shout out to Rex also for having that vision, and this is real now. The Ferrari is has been fractionalized. You can co-own a Ferrari now, and you can go ahead tell your mom, your wife, your girlfriend that you are an owner of a Ferrari, and not just any Ferrari, but
Paul Walker's.
Paul Walker's Ferrari 360 Modena. So
Exactly.
you guys are welcome to once again click all the links and just join Discord. If you have any questions, we're there, and I guess we'll see you on the next episode next week. We do have our Builder Burnout space every Friday at 9:30 a.m. and you guys are welcome to join us. That's on the Base Buster, which is our Buster account. So you guys are welcome to also follow that and follow everyone who's here in the chat as well. So Rex, final words.
Yeah, just if you haven't already, head on over to drivenculture.xyz, sign up for the newsletter, and join the Discord server, and we will see you there. So until next time, have a great week, and we will catch you over in the labo. Cheers.